XRP will be the shining star of 2026. On CNBC, they talked about the big money coming in. Remember, buy good companies at a fair price, not bad companies at a good price. It's very important that if you're getting into crypto or you've been in crypto, to start to consolidate into real world solve projects. Stop chasing the hype, stop chasing the hopium, and build a system. Here's the truth, and a hard truth. This might upset some people. $1 million, if you don't have a plan, if you're not structured, is going to wreck you. It's not going to make you financially free. That's why lottery winners go broke. That's why pro athletes often go broke. In the process of becoming a millionaire, it's more important who you become in that process. $1 million won't free you, but $1 million mixed with the system that can compound could eventually free your family forever. So it's really important if you're wanting to explore cryptocurrency or get into the investment space, because the truth is only 10% of the population runs the markets, right? So everybody's complaining about the stock market. Trump's saying, hey, the stock market's at an all-time high. Well, most of the middle class is not in the stock market. And most of the middle class is still struggling. And I'm here to tell you the truth. Is the middle class is going to get wiped out, leverage source technology, move down to the working poor by 2030. And the next president's going to run on high inflation, and the middle class got wiped out, and the 1% became extremely wealthy. There's only interest in the system, guys. You're paid in someone else's debt. You're earning it or you're paying it. There's your answer. So we need to help you transition from paying it over to earning it. If there's only debt in the system, there's a winner and there's a loser. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how CNBC said that XRP, just like I said they're going to be the shining star. They're talking about this is the trade of the year. And I'm going to show you the facts, figures, numbers, logic, and how high Bitcoin is in regards to worldwide companies. And I'm going to start to solidify that narrative for you guys. But I'm also going to teach you discipline, consistency, and building a system. Follow Robert Kiyosaki, Ray Dalio, Kathy Woods, study Warren Buffett, God rest Charlie Munger's soul. I go deep into the infrastructural changes and the cyclic patterns that happen over and over and over again. This is nothing new under the sun, guys. The markets are going to be bullish. Study 2003 when Saddam Hussein was captured, right? Same narrative. Venezuelan president's captured. It's all money. It's all monetary, guys. Think about that. We control the oil now. Where was China getting their oil from? Do your research. Let's go a little bit deeper. Let's get out of the emotion. Let's get out of the price predictions. Let's get out of the hype, and let's build a real plan to help our family grow. All right, so let's dive right in. So the first thing that we are going to watch is going to be a post that I put out there. It's going viral. Plenty of people put out there, not just me. Like their ego there. I'm the only one that put this out. CNBC put it out, and we all jumped on it. And check this out. Pretty cool stuff.
The hottest crypto trade of the year is not Bitcoin. It is not Ether. It is XRP, the coin formerly known as Ripple, soaring more than 20% this year, becoming the third largest cryptocurrency out there. And there's big money behind this trade. Mackenzie Sagalos joins us now with that XRP trade and what, Mac, is driving all of this interest in XRP.
Well, what's actually been interesting is that during the doldrums of Q4, you actually saw a lot of people piling into those XRP ETFs, which is the exact opposite of what happens with the spot Bitcoin and Ether ETFs, where people really move in tandem with the price of the coin. But it was the fact that it is a way to have a higher percentage jump. So people were buying the dip with XRP in Q4, thinking this is a less crowded trade than Bitcoin or Ether. And then that proved out to be true just in the first 6 trading days of January.
We've also talked a lot about the blockchains and the ecosystems that are being built around many of these systems. We know kind of what they are with regard to Bitcoin. We certainly these days know what it is around Ethereum and Ether. What exactly is the big use case or driver? What's the practicality for XRP?
Well, with XRP and Solana, those are the two very popular altcoins right now where you're seeing a lot more interest. And with Solana, a lot of these different forms of tokenization. So we talk about tokenized dollars all the time in the context of stable coins. But now we're seeing a lot of people move into tokenizing money market funds. And Solana has become a blockchain use case.
Okay, then it stops right there. I cut the video off. And it says, she says, an XRP is for cross-border payments. Okay. And this is the next one that I want to show you here. This is from CNBC as well. It says just in 68.7 billion Coinbase, John D'Agostino, live on CNBC. Listen to what he says about crypto.
So it did, and it is. And this is sort of what's been frustrating for those of us who work on the institutional side for the last 6-7 months has been the delta between retail negative sentiment and institutional and regulatory momentum. So we look back at last year, and I must have been on.
Let me reiterate what he just said. So retail sentiment, the bearishness, and he's going to talk about institution. You got to understand, this is an institutional game now. That's why you got to get out of the hype. You got to get out of the hoping. You just got to start thinking like an institutional player. You got to stop thinking like a crypto bro, the hype, the jumping into the next crypto. Now you're going to start to see, you're already seeing it's going green. The influencers are coming back and doing their crypto content. Influencers are going to start launching tokens. Run as fast as you can, guys. There's no next best thing. I promise you. Okay. Study books like this. Okay. Warren Buffett. We'll go into that in just a moment, right? Warren Buffett's interpretation of financial statements. Okay. Study Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Buy good companies, buy good cryptos at a fair price, not bad cryptos at a good price. That's not how winning is done.
20 shows talking about how bad Bitcoin was doing. Net down 6% for the entire year.
Right.
This is an asset that's been the best performing asset by far, by a mile. It's been the GOAT 9 out of 12 years. So institutions understood that. So I don't know a single institution that was putting in the work on crypto and Bitcoin last year that stopped because the asset experienced, quite frankly, typical volatility and was down 6%.
So there was nobody who paused or said to you early in the year, you know, we're thinking of going this direction, we're going to do this, and then called you up and said, you know what, we're going to wait till 26 and see where things are.
On the institutional side?
Yeah.
No. If anything, the rapidly increasing regulatory momentum moved them faster. I think today versus a year ago, I don't know of a single large company that doesn't have an AI and blockchain strategy, or at least.
Boom. I mean, it's here, guys. And so what you need to do is breathe through this, okay? There's going to be tons of volatility, right? So we have to build a structured plan through this. And this is a good hint to you right here. So this was posted by Global Statistics. These are the top 50 assets in the world. And so this is how I use Benjamin Graham, interpretations of financial statements, studying Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger. I stick in my zone of competency, which is digital assets. I understand them. I understand. I also run 6 companies, right? So I understand infrastructure. I was in the banking system. I went to CBA Executive Banking School. So in our SIM model, we had to build banks from the ground up, right? So I understand Nostro Vostro, I understand payment systems, things like that. So I do stick in my zone of competency. I'm 60% crypto, 10% stocks, and 30% insurance. I think the 60-40 split is absolutely dead. 60% stocks, 40% bonds. It's dead, guys. This is not our grandparents' and our parents' economy. You have to just start to look logically at the top 50 assets, okay? We got gold, number 1. NVIDIA, number 2. And I'm going to do a video on NVIDIA tomorrow when they're talking about Bitcoin mining, guys. Silver, number 3. Apple, number 4. Alphabet, Google. Let's pause for just a moment. Think about Warren Buffett. Apple, he just put a big investment into Google, Alphabet. We have Microsoft, number 6. Amazon, number 7. Bitcoin, number 8. So logically, Bitcoin's number 8 out of 50 assets in the world. Do you really think Bitcoin's going away? So let's use logic, okay? When you looked at where's Tesla at on here? Tesla's number 13. So when you looked at the inauguration, who was standing up there with Trump? Think about that. All these companies up here, these are the people that are going to get extremely wealthy. Okay. They're going to get extremely wealthy. The middle class is not invested in these companies. They're trying to survive. They're trying to buy groceries. Their rent is still super duper high. They're going to give us a couple stimulus checks. We need financial literacy. We need to teach people how to invest properly. Okay. So here's my narrative around this. So Bitcoin is number 8. You got Trump is the number. Let me just bring you guys on the screen. I was going to show you a bunch of other stuff, but let's just use some logic here. Okay. So we got Donald Trump's writing the rules, right? He's the president of the United States. You got Steve Witkoff, who's his right-hand person. Steve Witkoff, the Witkoff boys, Donald Trump, his boys, they created World Liberty Financial. They created USD1, the fastest growing stablecoin. Okay. They took over the stablecoin market. We took over Venezuela. They took over the oil market. Now, why would they take over the oil market? Think about, where does China get most of their oil from? From Venezuela. Guys, these are all financial moves. These are all power moves. Okay, so don't get caught up in the emotion. Don't get caught up in the hype. Everybody, has their own opinion about this, which is important, but you just got to watch where the money's from. They're literally showing you what the future is here. Okay, so use logic. Use logic. Okay, Trump is the largest holder out of billionaires in Bitcoin. Trump Media is in the top. They're going to be in the top 10 very soon in Bitcoin treasuries. American Bitcoin just shot to number 19 Bitcoin treasury. Okay, BlackRock is number one holder in Bitcoin. MicroStrategy is the number one treasury. BlackRock's the number 3 holder. Steve Witkoff, okay, Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, Cantor, his son Brandon Lutnick's running it now. Cantor is a crypto company. Cantor's linked to XXI, which is my second stock holding, okay, through 21 Capital. Guys, it's all interconnected. So what is actually happening here is a systematic, remember, Trump said you're going to be on an even playing field monetarily before you know it 7 years ago when he was president, okay? He said you're going to be on an even playing field monetarily before you know it. So the banks know, he knows, the world knows, the elites know that we have a decentralized system coming in. So what they're doing is they're pausing us. They're making us fearful. They're making us look the other way as they get set up in the new infrastructure, and you won't even know that you're operating on a blockchain. Okay? Just like Warren Buffett doesn't even know how to use a smartphone, but he knows that people are addicted to their phones. Okay? He doesn't know the formula for Coca-Cola, but he knows that he loves the taste of Coca-Cola. And he knows that people drink, I think it's wild the percentages that of households that drink soda, right? He's buying good companies at a fair price. So when you look at the landscape, that's how you make your investments. You don't do it off hype. You don't do it off price predictions. You don't just hyper focus on one asset. You diversify a little bit, but you don't go too far out, right? You stay in your zone of competency and you build a system. That's how winning is done. That's how we built financial freedom. So from 2020 to 2022, as people bought Lambos, houses, watches, we bought business, we scaled businesses, we got cash flow. And then when the markets came down, we went back into assets. We bought good companies. When I say companies too, let's call them technologies. Like for me, XRP is my number one holding. So I just accumulated. As everybody ran from it, I kept buying it. Thank God I did. It changed my family's life when Trump got elected. It changed our family's life before he got elected. He got elected. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And it's going to get even better, right? But here's the thing, is if you can't be patient, and I know you don't want to hear this, I'm going to hear all the comments down below in the video, but I'm the one that's going to give you the truth and authenticity of how this works. Okay. It took me 5 years to do this. In the scheme of things, that is such a short amount of time. I made more money in 5 years than I would have made my whole life as an executive banker. Okay. And what I realized through that process is $1 million is not a lot of money. Okay. Becoming a millionaire will wreck you if you're not ready. Making 5 million will destroy you if you don't have a system. You don't start to get free until about 10 million with a proper system in place. This is the hard truth and reality. Waiting for a price prediction, waiting for a savior to come out of the sky is not going to work. You need discipline. That's why they were called disciples, disciplined people. He picked the most unlikely people to become disciplined disciples. You need to be disciplined physically, spiritually, and financially. It needs to be 3, not one or the other. As a man and head of household, you can't have a bunch of money and be sloppy physically and not protect your family and be a slop spiritually, because you will squander your money. The foundation should be spiritual discipline. Next should be physical. God should be number one. Physical, you should be capable. I'm not talking about abs and, fitness body. I'm talking about capable of protecting your family, fast enough to move if something happens. becoming a warrior in a garden versus a gardener in a war. It is very unattractive for a man not be able to protect and provide safety for their ecosystem, the feminine within their life, and their family. Okay? And then mostly you should be disciplined financially. Those should be your 3 focuses. So men, if you're looking for purpose, there you go. That is your purpose. That is your purpose. You're seeking it out in the world through a watch, a Lambo. Nobody gives a shit what kind of car you drive. They don't. Nobody cares. And the people that do care aren't going to get you anywhere. Trust me. Study the people who have real wealth. They're not showing their cars. They're not showing their lifestyle. Like, think about it. Think about the people who have true wealth. Are they really showing you their lifestyle? People that have true grounding, people that have true purpose, are they really showing you their lifestyle? No, they're not. Because once you get to a certain amount of wealth, it's all the same. Things start to change. You start to see the billionaires start to reverse engineer and start to become less flashy. Because wealth is about freedom. Charlie Munger says it the best, and I'm going to paraphrase all of this. Wealth is about not having to listen to another man that you don't respect. Wealth is about having your own ecosystems so your wife and kids don't have to smile at some boss that you hate, that you despise, just because you have to earn money to support your family. That should be your aim. Wealth is you can say what you want, when you want, with true authenticity, without another man holding a paycheck over your head. That should be your aim. That should be your focus. And I made that my focus. That's why I created my own ecosystems, my own businesses. I took the income and I built assets. I took the assets when they profited and I built cash flow. And I made sure that I put my family in a position where we can walk how we want, we can talk how we want, we can be free, we can be sovereign, and we can cut people off like a katana blade if they're outside of our principles. That should be your aim. That should be your focus. Not waiting for a price prediction, not waiting for a savior, but getting your shit together. As I move forward on this channel, I'm just going to speak my mind. What's in here is going to come out. Okay, that's it. Because what are we here for? What's the point of this? I posted today on my social media a vulnerable post, and I'll be transparent with you guys if you made it this far. I put a vulnerable post because I'm working on a project right now, and this overwhelming fear came over my body. Like fear, anxiety was crazy. It only lasted for a moment in time. It's a new project, a new level for me that I have not experienced at that level yet. And I'm building it, and outside of my kids and this, I'm working on it. And this fear and anxiety came over my body. And I was like, whoa, am I capable of doing this? Will it be received well? And I just went through this whole process, and it lasted a couple minutes, and then boom, I can, I will, I must. And I started building myself back up, and of course I can. And of course I'm capable. But there was this moment of fear. And I thought of the word influencer, right? And I hear people say things like this, like, oh, I'm an influencer. And I'm like, influencing who? What are we doing? What are we influencing here? Right? Well, what's the point of that? We are here to be authentic. We are here to speak our truth. So like on my Twitter account or my X account, right? Often posts come from ego, and I post it. I pray every day, so I post it because I do pray every day, right? And over the past 2 years, I just post what's on my mind. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't I post when I'm vulnerable? So I posted that. And I made a commitment to myself. That's my only change in 2026. I'm going to continue to do my same discipline actions physically, spiritually, and financially. But the biggest thing that I'm going to change is I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. I'm going to say it without fear of judgment, losing businesses, losing followers, because that's where peace comes from. Peace comes from having a financial structure where you have enough cash flow to support your family without relying on another man or woman. Being physically fit enough to protect your family so your family feels safe and the divine feminine can magnetize, right? And lastly, being truly, truly authentic and saying what's on your mind, and people get to make a decision if they want to be around you. That's freedom. Okay? So I love you guys. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. I honor you. I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful to even have this channel. I'm telling you, like, I do not, something that almost makes me emotional. I am not taking this for granted. Like, every day I wake up, like, I get to do what I love. Like, it's wild. Like, I am being very vulnerable here. I don't know what's up with the vulnerability the last 24 hours, but when I wake up in the morning, I am so excited to come do these videos. I love doing my TikTok. I love doing my Instagram. I love studying this stuff. It is my zone of competency. It's what I love. And so I want to say thank you, like truly, truly thank you that you received this well, and that I could actually do this, and that I could have this platform that is hopefully impacting people's lives, right? And that's my only hope, is that I'm sharing information that helps your family. And so I just want to say thank you. And I hope that you'll respect the authenticity, and I hope that you'll respect, if you're a friend of mine, I'm going to tell you how